mid-morning show on BCOS television. You are welcome. Good morning to all our beautiful viewers out there. You're welcome to another brand new episode of the mid-morning show. Today being the 9th of February, 2026. My name is Dolapo Olaomi. How are you doing? I hope you rested all through the weekend because I sure did mine,
It's all over.
It's all over. All right, I never walk solo. I have Toke in the building with me.
Yeah, Toke in the building, of course. It's the Mid-Morning Show Monday edition. We are with the jive, with the vibe, to keep you in the right mood for the week. Yes, you must have not rested for the weekend, but for me, I didn't have much of a rest. But all in all, I had a nice sleep, restful night, and that's very, very key. As much as we have a busy day, we should have a very good restful night. Do not joke with sleep. And we are here for you today, the Mid-Morning Show, the night, like you said, the 9th day of the month of February. February is already saying it's bye-bye, little by little. But we're thankful that we're here once again. Of course, you know what happens every Mondays. It's going to be a fantastic ride this Monday morning. I am Adetoke Olaleye. Today is interesting because, well, as much as it's interesting, it's a day that we really need to open our eyes to. It's a day where we need to shed more light on such a thing, and that is epilepsy. Today is International Epilepsy Day, and is observed annually at the second Monday of February to raise global awareness, education, and advocacy for roughly 50 million people living with the condition. A lot of people see epilepsy as something else, but the truth is many of us are not fully aware of what this is. Now, according to World Health Organization, says that around 50 million people worldwide have epilepsy, making it one of the most common neurological diseases globally.
And the funny thing is people don't really understand what epilepsy is. And today we'll be talking about, what epilepsy is. We'll be talking about its stigmatization to people in particular. We'll be talking about its effects and, most importantly, its solution. What are the solutions to epilepsy? And what are the solutions to stigmatization in general?
Yes, now that is the thing. World Health Organization recently did a very mini video on what epilepsy is all about. And they mentioned something that is really intriguing, that some of these people living with epilepsy are stigmatized. And sometimes to even go for checkup or even have a normal life seems to be very difficult. But our topic for today, we are talking about ending the epilepsy stigma. And most of them have gone through depression. There was a time when I was growing up, there was a man around that area who actually had epilepsy. So one day there was this ruckus going on, people coming with him into the house. Guess what? He wanted to commit suicide.
Wow.
He said he was tired of being or living with epilepsy. So these are things we need to talk about. As much as there is a care that they need to pay attention to, why is it that it's still something that a lot of people are still shying away from and still are not fully aware of it? So these are the things we're going to be talking about, because a lot of them are living with depression. They don't have a normal life. They don't see the comforts. They don't see people around them to actually feel their pain, even family members. We have so many people who have family members running away from them because they're epileptic. They feel it's safe. These are things we're going to be talking about, the myths, the misconception. Why is it that it's still a very, very shocking and realistic, in quotes, kind of disease, but yet is still taking over the world. That's what we'll be talking about on the show today. So our feature today will be on depression. Stay with us.
Deep psychological wound, more painful than anything that bleeds. It is the feeling of sadness, worthlessness, and hopelessness, marked with high concentration on problems and mistakes made. According to the World Health Organization, depression is a mental disorder that affects over 264 million people of all ages in the world. Depression is very different from sadness or mood swings in that the latter are temporal responses to life's challenges. Depression is more intense and lasts longer and can worsen or be the cause of serious health issues like asthma, cardiovascular diseases, cancer, diabetes, and obesity, and can even lead to suicide. Depression affects 1 in 15 adults every year, and it is certain that everyone will experience depression at some point in their life. On the average, depression may first happen during the late teens to the mid-20s of a person's life. Studies have shown that women are more likely to experience depression than men. Depression is a mental illness. It can cause the affected person to function badly and poorly at work, in school, in the family, and in the society generally. About 800,000 people commit suicide every year as a result of depression. Suicide is the second leading cause of death in 15 to 29-year-olds. As a state of withdrawal from usual activities, depression is a state of intense sadness and grief. The symptoms of depression include change of appetite, which could lead to weight loss or heavy weight gain, loss of interest in one's enjoyed activities, insomnia or oversleeping, crying on regular basis, loss of energy, engaging in high-risk activities, being deep in or lost in thought, quick anger, aggressiveness, and irritability, suicidal thoughts, feeling of guilt, and avoiding loved ones or people. All these symptoms last for at least 2 weeks to form a diagnosis of depression. There are several factors that can lead to depression. Some of these are low self-esteem. People with low self-esteem or people who are naturally pessimistic are more likely to fall into depression. Hormonal imbalance. Hormones change as a result of pregnancy and during weeks or months of delivery, postpartum, menopause, and a number of conditions. Abuse. Abuse is one of the things that can cause depression. Physical abuse, sexual abuse like rape, genital mutilation, and emotional abuse like insults, etc., can make a person vulnerable to depression. Bereavement. Death or loss of loved ones can cause sadness or grief, which can eventually lead to depression. Genetics. A person with a family history of depression has a very high risk of becoming depressed at some point in life. Other causes of depression are sickness, change in lifestyle, disappointment, and anxiety. There are two broad types of depression: the major depressive disorder and the persistent depressive disorder. The major depressive disorder, also known as MDD, is a severe form of depression characterized by persistent feelings of sadness, worthlessness, and hopelessness. The major depressive disorder is discovered when a person experiences at least 5 or more of the symptoms over a period of 2 weeks. On the other hand, persistent depressive disorder, also known as dysthymia, is a milder but continuous long-term form of depression and lasts for years. It is not as intense as major depression, but it also strains relationships and can make daily tasks difficult. Depression can be very difficult to live with, but treatments can help improve the condition. Healthcare providers combine one or more treatments or lifestyle therapies to help people living with depression. These treatments are, but not limited to, counseling, medications, and lifestyle changes.
Hi, my name is Dayo, D1 Adine, but you can call me D1.
Well, Well, that was a very insightful piece on depression. Yes, many of us even are going through the signs and symptoms, but we're not paying attention. And even to people around us, we're not even paying attention to them. But this is a high hope now. So as much as we're going through a lot, let's try and talk to someone. Let's try and, try and embrace the fact that, yes, we're going through something. So many of us are going through a lot, and the only thing we say to ourselves is that, I'm okay. As of which, so someone asked you a question, they said, how far, are you okay? And you're okay. I'm okay. As of which...
You are not okay.
But today, like I said, we'll be talking about epilepsy and in the epilepsy stigma. Like we said on the show today, that many people are going through this stigma. Why is it that we're even stigmatizing people that are already going through a whole lot?
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about that. What is epilepsy? What are the myths and misconceptions about it? Why is it that as much as there is treatment, why are people not even getting treated when it comes to epilepsy? So that's what we're talking on the show today. And we have our guest. We have Dr. Peter Oyuku, Director of Programs and Advocacy, the Epilepsy Foundation of Nigeria, and Director of Programs, the Epilepsy Ambassadors Initiative. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for joining us on the show. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's start from the basics. For our viewers out there, what is epilepsy and what are the myths surrounding it in general?
All right, thank you very much. Epilepsy is actually a neurological disorder. That is, it is something that happens in the brain. And let me put it in layman terms as best as I can. Like for instance now, you imagine you having an electric shock that jolts you. Now imagine that kind of shock happening in the brain. The brain controls the body, so there is no way that kind of situation will happen in the brain that will not incapacitate whoever is going through that. So it's actually a neurological disorder, and it's in the brain. So I want us to eliminate that. And when we look at it, there are also focal, general, partial triggers, seizures. And sometimes it might be just a part of the brain. Sometimes it might be the whole brain. So once you understand this, you have a better picture of what epilepsy is about. And you will not think it's a spiritual attack.
That's exactly, that's spiritual attack.
That's another.
I'm sure we'll get to that, because so many people, especially in this part of the world, they feel whenever they see people with epilepsy, they feel, oh, it's yayi, like they usually say. But why do you think people generally misunderstand epilepsy, despite its medical, how do I use it now? The medical advances we've had.
Sadly, as much as we have our various cultures, a lot of positives from our various cultures, there are still some negatives. And over the years, narratives have been developed that a lot of us were born into, and we did not take any effort to find out why. We have issues like the way and manner these triggers or these seizures happen. Imagine you're one that grew up in the church and you have experienced deliverance a lot. And the symptoms of somebody going through deliverance looks like somebody having a seizure. You would definitely say, oh, he's possessed. So it's usually the cultural narrative, what we did not understand before now, and we taking up that narrative over years. So it has developed to, when narratives become facts that you did not even verify. So that is the level we are in now, and it has caused a lot more damage than good.
Okay, so now that we've talked, you've given us this insight about what epilepsy might be. But like you said, the misconception is there. What are those misconceptions? Because this misconception seems to be the one dragging most of the positivity of epilepsy, finding solutions to it. So what are those myths?
There are a lot, but I will just highlight some of the common ones. I think the most common one is to think or to assume epilepsy is contagious. I've had a lot of situations during our campaigns and awareness programs where you will see somebody tell you, you want to shake somebody, because you're part of the complaint, the person has already assumed you're living with epilepsy, and the person will refuse to shake you. I've had situations where I even tried to give somebody a pamphlet talking about epilepsy, and the person spoke in Yoruba. Please pardon my Yoruba. Ani warapa ni ilewa.
Ilewa, yeah.
And we would not have it. That was my own translation. And she refused collecting the pamphlet from me. And I was like, wow, it's that bad. So that is one of the most. So you see people saying somebody's having a seizure and there's a likelihood of saliva coming out of the person's mouth. Wow, if you touch that saliva, you will have it too. Or another one is that epilepsy is hereditary, that you can inherit it from your parents. That is another major one. So you often see in a lot of rural areas where they'll find out when they are doing findings. When you want to get married to a family, they're doing findings, and they find out somebody has epilepsy in that family. They'll say, no, you can't get married to anybody in that family. We don't know whether it is you that will, your generation that will now bring it, So there are so many myths that come with epilepsy, and also the spiritual side to it. A lot of people think it's a spiritual attack, and unknown to us, there are so many types of seizures, but we are more conversant with somebody on the floor shaking. Seems like the person is convulsing, shaking. Somebody can be like this and it's just blinking. I might be having a seizure. So somebody might just be like this and his hand will just be twitching. I might be having a seizure. As I said, there are full-blown situations and there are partial situations. So once we understand that epilepsy is a neurological disorder that is being managed, yes, we don't have a cure yet, but it can be managed. There are drugs that can help you maintain a very beautiful and wholesome lifestyle. So once you have that at the back of your mind, it gives you a clearer picture of what epilepsy is.
When I was growing up, there was a child who actually had epilepsy, and the story going around was, the baby fell down and hit the head.
Yes.
Is that another kind of misconception? So let's go to the symptoms of epilepsy. So does that mean that's a sign, or that's what brought up the epilepsy?
Beautiful. Thank you for that observation or that comment. Yes, that is one of the causes of epilepsy.
Wow.
Yes, head injuries. So some people, you might be a grown up, you might be in your 40s and still get epilepsy due to a head injury. It can be at childbirth. Maybe they mistakenly bumped the baby's head, or during giving birth, maybe there were some complications. Even from infections like meningitis, jaundice, these infections can trigger neurological disorders. So when you understand that, there are various reasons that can cause it. So you should understand that it's not only from birth. It's not only from childhood. You can be an adult and still
even get epilepsy.
Yes.
Well, you were saying something earlier. You said it can be contacted.
I said it's not contagious.
It's not
contagious. Yeah. That's one of the myths. A lot of people think it's contagious.
You were talking about maybe when someone is having a seizure, then
you see saliva, you assume, if you touch that saliva, you get epilepsy. No, it's not possible.
So it's a no.
It's not possible.
All right, beautiful.
Okay, so now that we know, you said something about the fact that yes, head injuries can cause it and other things, but World Health Organization has made us understand that, of course, there is a treatment for it.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of awareness, but still the myths and misconceptions seem to come in. Then another thing that seems to drive people away from the truth is stigma. So how did we get to the point where stigma seems to be the real bane when it comes to epilepsy treatment?
I think that is one of the focal points of the epilepsy ambassadors and the Epilepsy Foundation of Nigeria. The major thing is awareness. People need to understand what epilepsy is. They need to understand how to manage it. And when we talk about stigma, as I said, we belong to a society of once we don't understand something, we avoid it completely instead of trying to understand it. We do not take any extra effort to do that. And because of the level of stigmatization of people living with epilepsy, not just epilepsy, a whole lot, because of that, a lot of people will not come forward. A lot of people will not tell you this is what is wrong with me. And statistics also shows, as of this year, 2026, we have an average of almost 2 million people living with epilepsy in Nigeria. And that is recorded.
Already.
Now, what about millions that are not recorded? What about the fact that epilepsy is more in the rural areas than in the urban areas? Statistics also says, using the meta-analysis, that in the urban areas, for every 1,000 people, we have an average of 6 to 8 people living with epilepsy. And when you get to when you get to the rural areas, you will notice times 2 or times 3 of that numbers.
Is it because they are not educated enough?
Yes, they're not. It's not just about education. You'll be surprised how educated people react. So-called educated people react to epilepsy.
Are you being serious?
It is the narrative that has come from, as I said, our growing up. That is what we are used to. And the next thing we mindset is, oh, these things can be treated with herbs. These things can be treated with. Now, I will not become. I will not be an ignorant person and tell you people don't have spiritual attacks. There are. But because of the similarity of the symptoms, they tend to mistake one for the other. And it happens so often. And another thing about stigmatization is, because of the way the society is wired, people cannot come out and tell you. Because unlike malaria, if I tell you I have malaria now, I'm sure you tell me like 5 drugs I can use, even not being a medical practitioner. But if I tell you I have epilepsy, you definitely not pick my call tomorrow.
Okay.
And you've been wondering what went wrong.
We don't even know.
I don't know
So
what to do.
because you don't know what to do, you don't have the understanding of steps to take, so it's a major problem. Like, for instance, have you not seen a situation whereby somebody will be having a seizure and you see somebody running to put spoon in the person's
They call
mouth?
it, is it convulsion? They call it, and they just put spoon. I'm like,
So why are you doing that? It is wrong. It's even harmful to the person.
wow.
Very harmful to the person. But because of the lack of awareness, and sadly, we are not there yet. We're far from it. Getting the word out there, we're far from it because we need to push in more campaigns that will help the public
But
understand.
we've been seeing a whole lot of campaigns. So can we now say that the campaigns are not enough, or the campaigns are not reaching the right people?
I will say most of our campaigns are concentrated in the urban areas, and the rural areas are where we have the higher numbers.
Okay.
And now let's use another example.
Okay.
And if somebody goes from the urban area to the rural area and has such seizures, how would that person be handled? Traditionally. So we've already lost it there. So the person that has that seizure is not in the right frame of mind to even explain that this is what is wrong with me. So even some people living with epilepsy are so scared of it that they don't even tell people. Parents enroll their children in schools without telling the school management, oh, this person is living with epilepsy. Because of the way and manner these people will be treated if they have that information, if other people have that information. So it's a major change. So it looks to them as a lose-lose situation. If I come out, how will people treat me?
Okay, so why do you think, as an expert now, why do you think people with epilepsy are often excluded from social activities, sports sometimes? Why exactly do you feel that?
I think one of the major things is understanding. People do not have the knowledge of how to manage epilepsy. And one key thing that I've observed, even with my interactions with a few people living with epilepsy, is that you can live a full and healthy life. You can participate in sports. You can play football. There is a lady in the US, I can't remember her name right now. She's a sprinter. She's living with epilepsy. So, and there are so many people that have also come out, even in the sporting world, that have come out as ambassadors for epilepsy because they're living with it. And don't get it wrong. Once it is managed, you might go 10 years without a seizure. You might even go 20 years without a seizure. to such people or family members that experience that, they feel it's cured. But you have to be disciplined with your medications. So once you're disciplined with your medications, you might go for a long stretch of time, no seizures, you're good to go. And once you understand what you're going through, you manage it better. Like for instance now, there are some people that even when they get stressed, like for me now, you notice my voice is not, this is not my voice, how my voice is. It is because I embarked on a trip last weekend and I did not rest in between. So that is why my voice is like this. Once I'm rested a little, my voice will come back. So I know how to manage that. And I know in a couple of days, once I'm rested, it will be better. So that's how epilepsy can be too. Once I know what is wrong, I know how to manage it. Over a long stretch of time, I'll be fine. It's just like you're talking about HIV. You'll be surprised at the statistics of people living with HIV. And you'll be wondering, they look fine. Their skins are even popping. They're glowing. So that's not even the issue. It's your ability to manage it. But you can only manage it when you have the understanding of what is wrong and when people around you also have it. Because when people around you also understand, when you're having a seizure, they can manage it properly. Like for instance now, when somebody's having a seizure, the person is having a jolt. You are not supposed to press the person down, hold the person in place. No. You're not supposed to put spoon or this in the person's mouth. All you're supposed to do is create space, let air.
Yeah, talking about that space. Now, I grew up with people, few people who have this epilepsy.
Okay.
And they, at some point, some of them had to be indoors based on the level of seizures. And now we're talking about space. My fear is, how will, in case they are moving somewhere and there is no space for them and anybody to protect them, then there's a damage, double damage. So how can it be managed that the person going through the seizure doesn't get hurt in the process?
It can only be managed if people around you also understand what is happening to you. But as we just said, stigma has not allowed people to know what is happening to you. But if they know what is happening to you and they have the understanding of the first 8 steps to take when somebody is having a seizure, they will allow or help you. I was going to say something else. I said space, but it doesn't just stop there. You have to remove all harmful objects around the person. And you have to allow the person go through the seizure process. And as soon as the person is seemingly, that jolt stops, you have to turn the person to the side.
To rest on.
Yes, to the side.
So now
there are steps to take.
You said 1 now, space.
Yes.
2,
remove all harmful objects.
3.
Then once the seizure, when the person relaxes, you turn the person to the side.
What's the 4th one?
I said just 3.
Just 3.
You turn the person, and when the person is feeling much better, that's in that same space, you will now address the person. Don't let the person feel, because that's stigma, that pressure, that embarrassment that might come with it can also affect the person too. Can lead to depression, just as you said earlier. So your ability to now say, sorry, you're fine, nothing is wrong, you're perfect, you're good. And you now, help the person get to, or assist the person how far you can, either to get to his or her destination, or to just, spend a few minutes with the person, for the person. And in the space of a few minutes, that person is okay. Although there are some longer seizures, there are shorter seizures.
How long could a seizure be?
It varies. Somebody might have a seizure and within 5 minutes, the person is back to normal.
5 minutes?
Yes, and somebody might have a seizure and the person might be taken to the hospital.
Wow.
Whoa.
So it varies. Now, the person that has a longer seizure, it depends on the complexity of the person's case. That is number 1. Number 2, how is the person has the person observing his or her medication? As I said, once you're taking your medication, you're good to go.
Yes.
And don't also forget something. Another issue, and why we notice so many complex cases, is we should not forget the fact that it is expensive currently to actually manage it. Yes, because it is not seen as a priority per se. Now, let me ask you a question. How many primary, secondary universities do you know that when you enter, you see inclusiveness when it comes to people living with epilepsy? Have you gone to any school sick bay to ask, do you have any first aid drugs or medication for somebody living with epilepsy. I'm sure when you go through that, you see how disappointing it might be. So inclusion is also a very key part when they feel included. So a lot of them have to manage themselves on their own. And that is where these agencies, these non-governmental agencies I mentioned earlier, come in. The Epilepsy Foundation of Nigeria and the Epilepsy Ambassadors. Now, what they also help to do is they help to provide medication, either subsidized or fully free, through support from concerned individuals, both locally and internationally. They help to do that. I can even speak for Epilepsy Foundation of Nigeria. I know for years the founder of that agency, without any support, not lack of trying, but from our own purse, had to, not just one, not two, not three, close to 50 people living with epilepsy over years, taking care of their medications. I know cases of she helping people even get accommodation. You know, cases like that. Because the families do not know what to do. They're frustrated. They don't know what next to do. So that is where they come in. So they do all of that. At the end of the day, she did all that from her pocket. As the founder of Epilepsy Foundation of Nigeria.
So now, if we're now going to be saying that we need to inform the people in the rural areas now, you know, there's this influx now of the rural people
Into the urban, yeah.
in the urban areas. So how do we reach out to these rural people in the urban areas so that they can get, because many of them, because of whatever they're passing through in the rural areas, we feel, okay, maybe there's a way out in the urban area. So how can we actually reach out to those people in the rural who are in the urban from the rural area?
Firstly, the private, that is the non-governmental organizations, they can only do so much. They have a lot of constraints, financial, manpower, and the likes. But we have the government. And I know the government has primary health facilities across the country. All you just need to do is develop information dissemination strategies that will help these centers. It should be somebody that is trained in these primary health centers. It can be a nurse, it can be a technologist or a doctor that will just, take this thing a step forward, further, and educate people at the primary health levels. You see, you cover a whole lot more ground. So even if they do not cover everything, at least they are complemented by the non-governmental organizations.
All right, beautiful.
So we have to go on this break. We'll be right back. It's still the Mid-Morning Show. Thank you. Well, I like that quote that we saw there. I don't know if we can have that quote again. Was talking about it. Please, can we have the quote again, please? Yes, men ought to know that from the brain and from the brain only arise our pleasures, joys, laughter, and sorrows. So this is where it's a wake-up call for everybody. As our brain is a major part of our entire body, and we must treat it with respect. And this is where epilepsy comes in. Of course, we have Dr. Peter Oiko, who is the Director of Programs and Advocacy of the Epilepsy Foundation of Nigeria and Director of Programs, the Epilepsy Ambassadors Initiative. He's been taking us through the old road of what epilepsy is and what it actually stands for, and it's not contagious, it's not hereditary. He said that, and he made us understand that yes, some people are still blinded by culture and by fake gist about epilepsy. Epilepsy, as much as it's real, can be treated. So please, let's talk about the treatment.
Okay.
Is it a tablet? Or is it an injection? Or is it going to be a particular therapy for you to have reduced seizures when it comes to epilepsy?
For treatment of epilepsy, it's a combined treatment regime. We have therapy. Therapy is very, very important because somebody cannot be going through that and will not have some level of therapy, counsel. You need to have somebody that you could call. And one of the strategies for that area by these agencies is that we have mentorship, where you as a younger person, you are linked up with somebody that has been living with epilepsy for a longer period of time. And you have somebody to call, you have somebody to, so it's not a case of you don't know what I'm going through. So when that person advises you,
like, do you know what I'm going through? You are trying to advise me.
So you will have that kind of big sister, big brother kind of program.
Wow.
Then there are tablets, there are drugs to take, a lot of medications. And as I said earlier, they're also kind of expensive. Something that might last you for a week might cost you almost 50,000 naira. And we also have other treatments, like there are also neurological treatments, where you go through some physical therapies. And there are also injections too. And there are cases where you have seizures, and some of these seizures leads to complications that you have to be put on the bed, you have to go through some drips and all that, But there are various treatments. But once you're well managed, you can just be on drugs for 10 years and you don't even have to go to the hospital. So you're going to the hospital just to go and be checking for checkups. It's not really because something happened. It's just because you want to go for your regular checkup, do your scan and all those things. So, and you know how much this to do this kind.
It's quite expensive.
All right, so still on the misconception of epilepsy, because especially in this part of the world, we've seen movies. I want to get into that. Okay, we've seen movies whereby when they want to go diabolical, they'll say, okay, there's when they want to treat it, they'll say after the treatment and all, we'll see lizards, something like that.
Yes, lizard seems to be the common animal.
What is the correlation between that and epilepsy?
I don't know.
Because we are here to
it's so funny. The lizard is always coming out.
Yes, the lizard is always coming out.
I don't know why.
So what is the correlation? I need to know. And I'm sure our viewers too want to know.
We need to know.
On a personal note, and in my experience so far, I have no idea where that comes from.
Wow.
But as I said in the beginning of this interview, there are a lot of misconceptions. And I remember, I don't want to mention his name, but it's somebody I like watching a lot. He's a Yoruba actor. And there was a movie, and that is why I knew the word warakpa was epilepsy.
Okay.
And there was a movie he acted, and he had warakpa. Anytime he's doing something good, probably he wants to get married, there is a seizure. They took it to a whole level. There was a time he was having a seizure. I think his brother or his wife put spoon in his mouth. And I think that period, we wrote to the producers, to work on that misconception. And it is sad. Very few Nigerian movies actually get it. They do not do their research properly when it comes to that regard. And this further has fed the narrative of it's a spiritual attack. As I said also earlier, I'm not saying they are not spiritual attacks, but neurological disorders are not spiritual attacks. So we should understand that, if you do not know what is happening to somebody. Don't assume, don't conclude, don't prescribe what you are not sure of. And the aspect of the lizard, I will go and do more research on that because I'm also curious.
Why the lizard?
Why?
There are other animals. Why the lizard?
But to be fair, please don't get it the wrong way. But why is it Yoruba movies that do that?
Exactly. Why you? I think that's another topic.
So for me to do my research, I will definitely meet somebody that does Yoruba movies, and I will ask, how did they get the?
That's a lighter one. That's on the lighter note.
Yeah.
However, you talked about there is a treatment for it and all that. Is it that there are particular food that people living with epilepsy should take, like? Maybe they are not supposed to take certain fruits, or maybe that's another part of the misconception that we're talking about.
I think basically they're just supposed to live healthy. They're just supposed to live healthy. And as I said, there are different types and there are different systems. The way we react to things are different, just like allergies. Yeah. So people react to different things differently. It might not be because of the condition that their body reacts to this or that. So since it's something that happens in the brain, for instance now, you should know naturally one of the nutrients of the brain is iron. So naturally, you have to
increase the intake.
Foods that have iron, So these are things that you should know to just that really like, not that they have to do with a particular combination. So they eat pounded yam, they eat anything. We don't. It doesn't have to do. It's your physical makeup. So it's not as if that is what triggers it. Normally, it is what actually happens is secondary. Like for instance, now there are some people that when they eat some certain foods, they get itchy. But once they get itchy, the result of that itchiness, once they are itching, can cause a trigger because you're uncomfortable. So it's secondary. It's not as if it is the allergy. The allergy caused the itching, but the itching triggered something else. So you should understand that it is not something that is direct. It has to do with your body makeup too. Beautiful. How you react to various things.
Okay, so, sorry, you said something earlier. You made mention of media. Now, how do you think media has influenced or affected, the awareness of epilepsy, especially the stigmatization part now?
Firstly, I have to commend you, this program, for taking time to actually, invite us to talk about this.
Thank you.
The media will go a long way, a very long way, because most of what we consume as information are gotten from various media outlets. I'm not just talking about the electric media. I'm also talking about print. I'm talking about social media platforms. So what is put out there also matters. And this narration is affecting so many things. So now, somebody that has not taken time to research and watches that movie that I said I saw, as far as that person is concerned, that is the information and that is the fact. And that is what the person will react to when a situation like that arises. So if that is not cleared, if that is not, that narration is not changed now, not even later, changed now, we are heading for a lot of catastrophe. Because look at what stigma causes. A bus driver might be having epilepsy, but because he doesn't want people to know, because he's scared of the stigma, and he's driving passengers. Somebody might be in a situation where, because he's living with epilepsy, he doesn't want people to know. He might be in a situation whereby other people's life depend on him or her. And because of that stigmatization, people are not saying, it's okay. It's okay to have this. You can live a good life. You can live a full, healthy life. And because people are not saying that, they have conflicts in their hearts. They can't actually express themselves. So only the immediate family members. And the immediate family members are not even knowledgeable enough to know that, it's not a spiritual attack. Because as far as they are concerned, when that thing started, they only remember situations around that period. Did I offend my neighbor? Did my Did my
My village
husband,
people.
you get, they will just be thinking of what's going on, not even thinking of the hospital. To go and do a proper scan, do a proper evaluation of what might be wrong. And it's a big problem.
So now they say early detection and prevention when it comes to health matters. Does that go with epilepsy?
Yes, early detection helps a whole lot. Because once you're aware, you take the necessary steps. And taking the necessary steps, you're being treated in the right way from the beginning. You'll be surprised that a lot of people, as I said, have lived for years without seizures. And to every other person, they have been cured. And we have had cases of where somebody will have epilepsy. After a few years, the person will just notice no more seizures. And we live up to 40 years, no more seizures. The person is okay. So, but there is no proven cure yet, but there are medications. So, I think what people should just emphasize on is getting the knowledge about what epilepsy is, getting tested, do your proper evaluation, getting the right treatments, and religiously following it, using it. Don't say, oh, because I've not gotten seizure in 3 months.
Yeah, you forget about it.
No, you have to continue. Because over time, things might happen that might cause trigger. And that is one area I think we should also talk about. Triggers.
What actually
What are those
triggers?
triggers?
Yes.
So it's not as if somebody will just get a seizure. Some things actually trigger these things. One of the most common one is stress. To be a Nigerian is not easy.
Trust
When
me.
you are hustling, you forget that, you have this condition and you need to make this money, So that is one major issue. There's stress. There's another one that it's very silent, which is depression. Depression is also another trigger.
So it can actually trigger.
Yes. When you're depressed, you're sad, you're not happy, your brain reacts to it. Then it might be flashing lights. Like when you go out in the evenings and nights and you see some vehicles, you might see like 6 different colors of lights on the vehicles, especially commercial vehicles. And it can cause a trigger. It can cause seizure. When that person is looking at the lights, you just know the person just stops. Person loses consciousness. You'll be like arrow came from the village.
How about eat? Because you made mention of once this person starts getting seizures earlier, you said they should, create
this is space.
So can eat also, trigger?
Yes, heat can trigger too.
Wow.
Heat. That is you being uncomfortable. You're hot. You're not okay.
About
Everywhere
being too happy too?
No, I'm not happy.
You know why I asked? When you said something about, the brain, something sending a message to the brain. Because I know that when you are extremely happy there's a way you react and the way you... Then can we now say again? Because
panic, that's the word.
Oh, panic, that's the word.
That's the
yes,
word.
panic.
So panic, that's
what
what
of
the message.
people who are living under the influence of drugs too? Do they have that?
Yes, it can cause triggers too. There are people that because of lack of knowledge, they have gone abusing a lot of substances. Because they'll tell you, it calms me.
Envy.
It calms
they
me.
will say that.
But the truth is they're only doing more harm than good. Such sets of people, once they get a seizure, you will notice it will be way worse than what should have been. Because they have suppressed it for so long. They have taken things that has affected the system for so long. So that is a major problem. So panic, oh boy, panic can do a lot. Panic can do a lot. Sound can do a lot. Sound. There are people that, there are some sounds that are not pleasant.
But doctor, you are saying sounds. We live in Nigeria.
Exactly.
Yes.
Sincerely.
And
when we are walking, the bike man is in the keke and pep 2 is doing the people POS, they are putting up their sounds, and you're telling me that it's going to send triggers.
Yes.
So
That's part of the reasons why that person you mentioned earlier wasn't coming out of the house.
Oh, so the person had to be indoors.
There are some very, 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 very unpleasant sounds that can just affect. The ear, the brain, balance, everything. It can trigger you.
Wow.
So it's that particular situation is not so often, but it's possible.
Wow.
So when you know this, that's why you see some people, they are always with noise boards, earmuffs, headphones.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's to reduce the outside noise. It's not as if they are snobbish or ignoring you.
They have reasons for it.
Yeah.
And now I understand.
No,
So
exactly.
I'll leave them to their world. But now let's talk about family members. Like, for example, we have, when someone is going through something, we tend to forget the family members as well, who might not be happy with what might be happening to their family members living with epilepsy. So what's your message to them? Because we were saying that they need to support. What if they too need support?
Yeah, to the family members, you're doing a good job. Please, do not relent. Seek counsel too. Seek therapy too. Because it's not easy. You're also bearing a lot of responsibilities. And there are cases where, because of the condition of this particular family member living with epilepsy, some people cannot even go to work. Some people cannot have a fulfilling life. They have to be there for them. So it's also a challenge. Now, you can seek counsel, you can seek therapy, or you could, as I said, there are programs for support systems where you have like caregivers, where people can actually be there, where you can call, where you can share. And there are forums where family members, interact. It's existing in the Epilepsy Foundation of Nigeria. Because most times, it's not even those living with epilepsy that contacts us. It's the family members, the parents, the
They
siblings.
actually do that?
Yes, they call.
Wow.
This year, I've received about 4 or 5 calls. I'm calling you from Enugu. I'm calling you from Abuja. I'm calling you from Nasarawa. I've had cases I've had somebody call me from Plateau. You get that we don't know. We have tried this. I'm like, so we have people in these agencies that are specialists that we just refer for evaluation. After evaluation, the person will now give us advice. This is how you can help this person. This is how you can support this person, and we take it up from there. So these are the issues. So please don't stop. Seek therapy. Seek counsel from people that understand what you're going through. Meet medical practitioners. Meet doctors. Neurosurgeons, neurological doctors that will be able to give you more insight, because, as I said, there are various types. Okay, there are various types, over 30.
Wow.
So when you understand that, you will understand, and each of these types have triggers that might affect. So once you're knowledgeable in these areas, it will help you a whole lot as a parent, or as a caregiver, or as a family member.
Oh, well, thank you so much for that. It's still the mid-morning show, Let's go on this short break. We'll be right back.